Hello there. This is Smallrond. Oh, not him. Let's move that camera down a little bit. Here he is. He's a full 15 size of the sun old, stands a firm barrel tall, and lives with his two negligent parents, Celestia and Roger, in the tolerable city of Markarth. Celestia is known to the Lessers of Markarth as the representation of political oppression, and Roger is a baker. But both neglect Smallrond for their work. Smallrond has had one phrase continually hammered into his life. This phrase is that size matters, but he believes this to be one of the three great true lies of the world, along with free sweet rolls and political representation. And due to his disposition, he truly only has one desire in this life, to prove this statement false. And so he began a journey for strength, truth, and maybe if he's lucky, political representation. Or a sweet roll, both would do. Oh, and by the way, he left with this cat, who is a known criminal. But aren't we all in Markarth? I know I am. The first part of his journey was cold and lacking sustenance, so stopping at an inn, they found warmth, food, and a man who seemed to be sporting 3 legs. Oh wait, that's just his sword. Speaking to the man, they learned his name was Ginry, and he taught the sword. This then reminded Smallrond he needed a teacher to learn to fight. So they promptly killed Ginry and took his contacts book to find one. Looking through his contacts, they soon realized Ginry wasn't well liked, as he only had one contact by the name of Mother, witch, end parenthesis. This word was not familiar to Smallrond. Mother. What a fascinating word. What could it mean? But knowing all that which is foreign is evil, he decided that it might be best to train by himself. His training consisted of hours and hours of swinging his fists, and 12 positive affirmations each morning, such as, I am a strong and honorable elf. I am not an impotent, mononutted victim born to be called porridge. That second half was what his uncle called him after he spilled his uncle's drink. After 3 days, his training was deemed complete, and he only cried 14 times, which was 6 times less than his usual daily average. This meant he was now a man, and ready to face the cruelties of this world. His training finished, Smallrond went out into the world to test his strength and break the mold the world put him into. Quickly into his journey, he encountered Howard's fiercest creature. 6-legged and 2-clawed, the mud crabs feared no man, and especially no elf. Mostly because they lacked the organs for thought. The battle was demanding, torturous, and yet he won, defying the odds this world expected of him. He grew, not physically, but mentally. He knew both more and less about the boundaries that held his mind, for he realized they weren't where he thought they were, but this also means he needed to find them. So Smallrond did the only thing he knew how: move forward. Continuing his journey, he was met and faced with many more of Howard's creatures. The wolf he brought to his knees, and the saber he took his knees. But what is this? A blade of legendary proportions? A blade not for a king, but for the one putting the steel to his throat. Smallrond knew this blade was meant for him, gained not through providence, but through strength. Continuing his journey to either find the end of the world or the end of himself, he entered the dungeon. Facing Draugr after Draugr, he and Zargo grew weary and eventually overrun. Looking to his left, he saw only the thin frames of men, once strong in body, but now only strong in number. Looking to his right, he saw his friend, broken and feeble, unrecognizable from the cat of strength he knew him to be. Jazargo was dead. Tired and broken as he was, Smalron gathered his strength and pushed his foes back, leaving bodies in his wake. He must gather his friend, his brother, and give him proper peace. Once the battle had finished, he orchestrated the final moments of his brother's life, giving his brother his sword and his beasts. All Smalrond was left with was anger and despair. He marched forward into the fray of battle without hesitation. It mattered not the name or species of his next foe. All that mattered was that they be the recipient of the only emotion he had left to give: a repulsion for life. Bear, wolf, rabbit, troll, it matters not. He simply had too much to give to the world, and it seemed the world couldn't conjure a creature able to stand it. Venturing far to the north, believing maybe only the cold constitution and relentless force of nature itself might stop him, there he met the giants. Creatures famed for size and power, the embodiment of what he most despised in this world. Size makes might, and might makes right. The only way to truly honor a friend is to finish the job they helped you believe in. Engaging in combat, they were equals, fighting into the dark of the night. But in one final moment, he was caught, flung into the air, left for the mercy of world's pull. Apparently size might matter. Maybe he should have stayed in Markarth. Will his death mean nothing? Will the death of Jazargo mean nothing? No. These words were worse than the lies told to him by the world. For they were lies he was telling himself. Their end may have been in death, but their journey was filled with life. If they had not ventured out, they would not have found where their limits lied. They might have been as everyone, normal, bound by the mocking verses society might tell them, by what their families might tell them. But instead they rose up and decided they'd see for themselves. They now died as victors, rather than living as fools. Now for all those who listen, on your journey you may die, as Smalrond and Jazargo did. However, I wholeheartedly believe the possibility of death should not paralyze you. Understand that the simple possibility of death should not bar you from experiencing life. Challenge the world around you. Give all that you can to the world, and see it either break before you or send it back.